What's up, scholars? It's your professor here, Enlightened Enlisted, and I feel like I have to be completely honest with you guys. I was wrong about this premium bundle. I seriously thought it was going to be the most OP, game-breaking, pay-to-win premium squad we have seen added to the game. If you guys watched the live stream the other day, then you saw my initial reactions to this squad. By the way, if you aren't following me on Twitch, are you really even a true Chad? Anyways, here's my review of the Rocket Bundle. So the Rocket Bundle, like all premium squads, is grossly overpriced at $60. And I will once again beg Darkflow to lower these prices down so the average players can afford them, because I'm going broke just trying to review them all. What you're going to be getting is the Calliope for the Allies and the Rocket Half-Track, which name I cannot pronounce, for the Germans. Each squad comes with maxed out crew members, great perks, and the pretty standard loadout of a toolkit and a pistol for all your guys. I started off using the Calliope right off the bat, and the first thing I notice is you can't fire the main gun and the rockets independently. According to some of my Discord members, people on consoles can, but I have yet to be able to find how to change it for the PC to be able to do so. If you know how, please leave me down in the comments below how to do this. The tank is pretty standard in speed at 38 kilometers an hour, so don't expect to get a quick getaway. With 60 rockets on this bad boy, I find it super easy to get a bunch of kills, as they have the same rockets as the P38, the 114mm M8s. Obviously, these guys will be your primary killer, but the 1919 A4 coax machine gun is a great way to mop up survivors. The main gun is decent against lighter tanks like the Puma, who are actually a pretty big threat to you if they shoot you first. But honestly, you can one-tap them with a rocket on the side or two in the front, which is pretty easy because if you hold left click, the rockets will auto-fire. Now, before this thing went live, a lot of people, including myself, were worried about indirect fire with these guys. But I was able to do some testing, and it's pretty hard to just sit back at the rearm point and lob rockets all day long, because buildings and trees will get in your way and block those rockets. The Calliope pretty much has to be used on the flanks, which made it pretty hard for me to use it on maps like D-Day, because you're kind of just funneled into that valley. Quick side note about the D-Day map, the devs had to take out this overhanging piece right here to allow the Calliope just to get off the beach, which I found kind of funny. While your rockets are your greatest strength, they are also your greatest weakness. They will either get you killed by a one-shot from a tank or an AT round, or you will have to constantly get out to repair it, as an explosion anywhere near you will black them out, rendering them useless. Because of this, I recommend that you give your crew members multiple toolkits and an SMG to defend themselves while repairing. I also recommend that you subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Now, the sights on the Calliope are really easy to use, with the numbers designating the distance and yardage. I always leave my targets and aim for the ground near them, not directly at them. For longer shots, you can honestly just put it into the commander view and just aim a bit above the target with a decent rate of success. I also tended to switch my cannon to HE, as it will just give you that little extra bit of splash damage, as the cannon round will get to the target before the rockets. Ultimately, the Calliope is hard to stay alive with. It instantly gets targeted by the air or AT troops or even other tanks. Even though it is an actual tank with rockets on top of it, if you run into something like a Tiger, you're just going to be a burning heap of death. What the Calliope lacks, the German Rocket Half-Track has. With its smaller profile, ambushing with this guy is a breeze, and since it's faster than the Calliope, at 46 kilometers an hour, you can get to an ambush point very quickly. She also just gets the benefit of being on the Axis side. For a campaign which generally sees the Germans defending more than not. The rockets on this thing are very powerful, being able to take out even an American Sherman 76 with a few rockets to the side. But with only 20 rockets and salvos of 2, you're going to be carrying a lot less killing potential than the Calliope. With only an MG42 that faces forward, it is a bit harder to clean up enemy infantry that survive your rocket attacks. Not to mention that you can't really use the sights on the half-track when you're facing forward, because half of your field of view is blocked by the half-track itself. This makes you have to turn 90 degrees to basically effectively engage targets at longer ranges, and that's a dangerous affair for taking on a side shot. Now, if you are going to take on a side shot, you want it to be towards the back of the half-track, because if you take it into the front, you're going to get your driver and your commander killed. I would suggest that you get good at driving in the gunner view and shooting on the move with this guy, because once you shoot, you got to get out of there, otherwise you're going to get targeted. Now, from aerial attacks, you don't really take as much damage as you do with the Calliope, so if you want to give these guys extra toolkits, you can, but I find the that you don't use them very often. The biggest threat to this guy isn't the AT guns, other tanks, the air, or even explosive packs. It's the flamethrower troops with those new buffs they just introduced. So again, you gotta use these guys on the flanks. Ultimately, these vehicles are very situational dependent in my opinion. They are great at supporting infantry attacks onto a point or ambushing pushes from a flanking position, but their survivability makes it hard for me to recommend them for regular people, especially over just regular tanks, which have a greater chance of surviving and are decently well at killing infantry. These guys aren't going to replace the kill feed from P-47s or Ju-188s anytime soon. Now, if you want a unique experience, these guys offer that, but for $60, it's still hard for me to recommend. I give this bundle a 9 out of 10, and if you have this bundle or you're thinking about it, let me know down in the comments what you thought about today's video. And as always, hit that like and subscribe button as it does help the channel grow. As always, scholars, hit those books and hit those bottles. Cheers. Oh god, fuck. Just spilled that coffee on my dick. Oh my god. It just burnt. Oh my god.